And welcome back to another edition of Running with James, the podcast. It's good to be here. There's an old phrase from back in the day when bands would go their own directions, do their own things, and then something would happen. And they would say, "We're getting the band back together." Do you remember that, Lauren? You ever see Blues Brothers?
It's been a very long time, but I'm very familiar.
That was pretty much half the movie. They were just on a quest to get the band back together.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And they would just walk up
to
a
road trip
and be like, "Hey, we're getting the band back together." And they'd be like, "Nah, man, I ain't coming back with you.
I vowed to never come back."
I vowed to never come back." Exactly. But today, we have Coach Lauren here, one of the originals, the OG, the original co-host with the most anxiety.
Yeah.
And then we've got Rocky, the original
Rock Dog
dude, mixing it up on the ones and twos.
Mm-hmm.
That was pre-Rock Dog.
That was, but
back when we refused to call him that.
Yeah.
But he wore us down.
Yeah, he did. And then, also he gave us Rocky's Rambles.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it.
There's been no Rambles since without Rocky.
Yep, it's hard to ramble when there's not a Rocky or
He's not
Rocky
a rambler. I'm a rambling man.
He's a rambling man. He's made a lot of stops. That's a wandering man. That's wrong. That's a different song. My bad. So anyway, guys, let's welcome the crew in the house that is here doing what they do. Can we give it up for them?
Oh, you've got the buttons going back again.
Yeah. I did that just for Rocky.
Wow, Rocky.
You're welcome, Rocky. You got an applause.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Glad to be back. Good. I got a little anxious last night when he told me what we're talking about, and I just, in my head, it's like, oh my goodness, I have so many. I don't want to think about them.
Like, oh, okay. There were so many to choose from.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes it's like, don't really want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Don't want to bring that one up. Mm-hmm. So I was like having this, like, existential crisis.
Yeah.
A meltdown.
Yeah.
Of sorts.
Last week we talked about, doing heat training, and we were talking about, like, the challenges of being out in this humidity and this heat or what have you. And it was very interesting because 4 days later, I was outside running in the heat, and it got the best of me. Like, it got me. It got me big time. Now, there were all types of, what I find interesting is whenever we do these podcasts sometimes, like, we caution people not to do things.
And then we do.
And then I immediately do it. Remember we did the one about when we were traveling to Manchester, the World Championships, and we did an episode like the week before we left about what not to do before a big race. Rest.
Oh, and then we ended up spending like 3 days before just exploring
all of
Manchester and like the surrounding areas. Yes.
Yeah. And
yeah.
Suck the race up.
We're not living our own advice. We're living our own advice so we can then reinforce it to you.
Yeah. I like to live by example as much as I possibly can, but sometimes things are out of your control. Sometimes things happen, right?
We're all human.
You make mistakes or what have you.
That's an expensive trip to make. You're not going to go over there and sit for 3 days.
That's why you
plan ahead and you do it on the backside, not the front side.
That's why you try to give yourself like maybe a day or so and before the race so you can just rest, and then you give yourself the fun days after.
That is a huge tease. To like, I just flew this long flight.
I know. Just sit around and do nothing.
For 3 days.
That's why I know. No, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and everyone, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll do it by myself later.
Yeah, but I think it was Tuesday, what have you. I had my day starts pretty early on Tuesdays, and I had like so many appointments. It was insane. So usually I'll have about 2 hours between my morning appointments and then like my later day appointments. So I usually can go home. So I usually leave here, get here about 5 in the morning, and I usually leave around 8. And I don't usually have to be back till about 11, right? Or 10, usually 10. I don't have to be back till 10. So that's 2 hours. So I can go home, I can eat breakfast, I can get all my stuff together for the day, maybe even
take a nap,
squeeze a little nap in, right? That doesn't always happen, but sometimes, actually it's not on purpose. Sometimes I'll sit and eat my breakfast, and then I go sit on the couch to drink my coffee, and then I just fall asleep, right? So it's not on purpose. So, but Tuesday I got up, had my snack, and I got to the gym, and then I had an appointment right after my class, and then I had another appointment after my class, and then I had another appointment after my class, and then I had another appointment after my class. So it was like, I think, and the last one I had was a little. It went a little long because it was a new run client or what have you, so it kind of got extended. And so I was supposed to be here at 11 for another appointment, and it was like 10:15, 10:20. And so, but I hadn't had breakfast yet. I hadn't had coffee yet. I didn't have anything for my lunch. I don't even know why. I took my clothes for later in the day to run and my backpack and everything, but I didn't pack any lunch. I didn't pack my pre-workout. I didn't pack my nutrition for my run. I did none of that because I was assuming I was going to come home for a little bit. So I contemplated, okay, can I go home, get all that stuff together, eat something, and be back in 45 minutes? Well, it takes 11 minutes to get to my house. So that's 22 minutes round trip. So feasibly, I could maybe pull it off.
Be a push.
It would be like hard to do.
That's a move I'd make.
It's a move you would make, but you would not make it.
I would not make it. No,
you would not make it,
I would.
You would find other things to do in that time period. Yeah, thinking I got time, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and I'm like, oh, there's no way I can make it. There's no way I can make it. So I didn't go. I was like, you know what? I'll run over to Target. I'll get some eggs. I'll make me some breakfast. So I ran because I could make Target and back. So I ran to Target, got a few things, and when I came back, the moment I walked into the gym, I got a text from my 11 o'clock saying, hey, I just woke up. I'm not going to make it. I'm like, this dirty dog. But I had something at noon. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just go after I'm done because I have to leave here by like 3:30, usually at the latest, to make sure I'm on time to my next appointment. It's like in the medical center. And I was like, well, I'll just go whatever. So one thing led to another. Guess what? I didn't have time to do.
Go get your food.
I didn't have time to go get any of my stuff. I had no pre-workout. I had no snacks. I had nothing. So I had like a crappy breakfast, not nearly enough calories. I had a grilled chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A for lunch, and I had a banana as my snack. And so I stopped at Whole Foods on my way. So after my other stuff or whatever, we have the track, or we have the run group on Tuesday nights. So I was like, I've got to get something. So I was like, there's a Whole Foods between here and where I go for the track. So I stopped there. Whole Foods does not carry like nutrition. They carry.
They have a salad bar.
They have all these like electrolyte things.
Yeah.
But they're all like 5-calorie little packets that you put in your water.
Yeah, I think one time me and one of the other girls were running out in the Woodlands, and we went into Whole Foods because I was like, oh crud, I really like need another nutrition. Let's go see if we can maybe find some of those smoothie packs or something to buy and put them in our thing. It was so hard. It was all babies. It was basically just having to buy the baby food, but the calories on them all were so small.
Yeah, so there was nothing there. So I grabbed something that had like some electrolytes in it, put it in my water, and then I happened to have one of those ketone things that was just in my bag. That's just been sitting in my bag, and it happened to have caffeine in it. And I don't even know why I had it, but I had it. Maybe I grabbed it and realized it had caffeine, so I wasn't taking it. That's why it was still in my bag, is what I'm assuming. So, okay, this will get me. I'll be good. I was not good.
It was not good.
I was not good. As I was doing the warm-up, I knew it was going to be very difficult. And as I continued to do the entire process of warm-up, stretch, all that good stuff, I realized I was probably going to fail miserably. And as I was going through the first run, so it was like these intervals that we were doing, they were like 10 minutes long, I was dying, like literally. And it was a pace I've ran before. It wasn't that hard of a pace, all that stuff. And after the first set, I took the break and I took off again. And I got about halfway through, and I started feeling like the chills.
Oh yeah,
right.
Those are the worst.
I was like, just make it back around. So I made it back around. I had 2 minutes left, and I stopped. And I said, well, I'll just take a longer break, and then I'll try again. Nope. Nope. I couldn't do it. I tried. I really did try. And usually, those are a lot of times. Those are those moments where like, okay, this is a great time to like fight for it and go for it. I could physically.
Your body
my
had nothing
brain
in the
wanted
tank.
to, but my body just would not let me do it, and I couldn't stop sweating. And I think I was like on the edge of heat exhaustion. Like I was dehydrated. I definitely didn't have enough calories. I had no energy whatsoever, and it was pretty humid. It wasn't like super hot, but it was like pretty flipping humid. It felt like I couldn't breathe. It was tough, man. I walked back, like I didn't even like do my jog back. 'Cause it was like about a half mile back to where we started. Everybody else jogged back, and I walked back.
Someone told me who was there. They said you looked like you were hurting.
I was.
They're like, James looks like he was hurting pretty bad. And they were like, I think they said they gave you a little bit of a hard time for it. And they said, I felt bad about it. because he looked like he was hurting?
I didn't see anybody. I don't feel like anybody gave me a hard time.
Oh, okay. I think they thought they did.
No, I didn't think anybody did. So I was like, I sucked it up today, guys. Sorry. And they were like, oh, it's nice to know that you're human. I was like, no, it's not nice to know that. So anyway, I failed miserably. And then I got messages from a couple other people. Well, there was one guy there. He's like, I sucked it up, coach. But he finished the whole workout. He just was a little slow. And the conditions weren't great. And then another guy was sending me a message later, too. That night he sent it to our group text. And he's like, tomorrow's another day. That always means they didn't make it. So, but it got me thinking because I've been, it's summertime and, I deal with so many different athletes all the time. And one of the things that I constantly deal with is people that are struggling to hit the pace or they're struggling to complete the workout. And so they fail.
Yeah.
Right? They fail pretty regularly. And so it got me thinking that, all the time when I was growing up, the goal was, failure's not an option. Right. And so, and I understand what that meant, and I believe in it wholeheartedly, is that when you fail, you don't give up. Because you failed, you keep going. You keep trying.
It's kind of all the context and in behind it. Like people hear it and they hear you've got to win or no matter what, but that's not necessarily
right. You always have to be perfect.
Yeah, you don't have to be perfect. Failure's not an option. That, like you said, you don't give up.
Right.
You just keep working for it.
And I believe that you don't give up. You keep trying. Right. Rule number 6 in the gym: never give up. But I do think failure is an option, and it is actually a good option. And I think you should fail because if you're not failing, it probably means you're not trying very hard.
Yeah, that's probably.
Well, what is failure? What is success? I guess I mean to say is because you don't know good until you don't know what bad is till you had good. You don't know what good is till you had bad.
Sure.
You don't know what failure is till you had success. What is success compared to failure? I guess that's the question too. You got to know what success. Failure is success upside down.
Okay.
Everything turned over, everything where you don't want to be. Technically, no one wants to fail. You didn't want to have a bad workout. You didn't. I'm gonna wake up and have a bad workout because I need to fail.
Right.
Because failure is not an option, but I know when I fail, it's one step closer to success. And that's not how you approach it.
No, you don't go into it looking to fail.
No.
Yeah, sure. No.
I mean, I think it's all about reframing it, and it's what do I look at from this? What am I learning from this failure? I think failure, what it does is presents us opportunities to refine our process and to refine our habits and how we approach the situation.
I think it kind of refines our purpose.
In what way?
You want to be, so your success, everybody wants to know their purpose, have their purpose, and I think most people, when they think about success, it's living out their purpose.
Okay.
Money, all that stuff can be cool, but if you're not doing what you actually want to do and know what you're not going to be, you won't feel success because everything else was always going to be, the finish line's always keep going farther and farther and farther. I got a big house, now I need a bigger house. Got a big job, I need a better job.
The definition of success continues to change because you realize you're not satisfied with whatever that.
Yeah, because you're not in your purpose, which is actually the success part. And purpose is twofold. The purpose is for me, my purpose is, am I serving God? Is he cool with this? But also, am I serving everybody around me? Because when I think about my farthest back memory I can think of as a kid, I remember in pre-K. This is very dumb of me. This is how dumb I thought. But I was thinking I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give my older sister, she's gonna stay a kid. She wasn't gonna grow up with me. I was the only one gonna grow up. And I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna give her Christmas gifts. I'm gonna give all my friends Christmas gifts. And I grew up. They're gonna be so proud of me because I was able to come back and bring them toys.
Okay.
And all that.
Well, that was your level of understanding and.
Yeah, but that was
stupid. It's just immaturity, right?
But that's also the basis of my every dream. It was others. How does other people feel? How do making them feel better? Things like that.
Okay.
And we're all meant to serve. We're all meant to be here for other people. It's you're not meant to be alone, especially when it's your innermost natural, innocent self.
Sure.
So wanting to help. My daughter, she got a sticker from the dentist the other day. I want to give this to my friends. You only have one. You want to give it to one friend? Or what are you going to do, split it in half? But yeah, she was so excited to give her sticker that she just got from the dentist to her friends. She has one thing in possession that she owns. Now I want to give it away. It's a thing. We want to give. And we all want to give. BC gives.
Yeah.
Sunday is a giving time. Lauren, you give when you're doing things. You help people out. You're giving your knowledge, your expertise. Y'all are giving, right? Y'all feel fulfilled when y'all do that. And when you're not able to do that, are you a failure? We put failure as like our worth. Or like success is our worth. We got to have this. It's like our identity is if it's an identity crisis if we fail.
Yeah.
It's so tied into failure that
oftentimes the stuff we do, right, whatever the accomplishment is, whatever the job is, we, for some reason, tie that to our worth and our identity.
Like we said, I'm not perfect was one of the things I think you both had said.
Yeah.
If I fail, I'm not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Why do you think that is, Lauren? Why do you think we tie that so much to our identities? Right.
Why, like our success?
Mm-hmm. And to our worth.
I think because that's how we think the only reason, well, I guess when I think about it in a personal way, like a lot of times when I've struggled with identifying my success with my worth, it's other people will not value me. I don't have value to others, and I don't add value to like my environment if I am not hitting these goals, if I'm not succeeding.
So that was me last night.
Yeah, I think that's a big struggle a lot of people have.
When you told me about this, I had an existential crisis because I didn't realize how much I tie my value into the things I do.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to bring something. Everybody wants to bring something to the table.
Yeah, we all want to contribute.
Because we all want a seat, right? Mm-hmm. But if we don't contribute, we're not worthy of love. We're not worthy of our value. We're not worthy to be there, right?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of having God, because you realize by His grace, there's nothing you can do to earn His love.
Right.
I'm sorry, but there's nothing you can do to earn that love. You are loved no matter what you do, no matter who you are. You're already loved. Your darkest time, He already loved you. Your worst time, He already loved you. So in that, we have the confidence to keep walking. Failure is not an option. It is. I mean, it happens, but we don't look at it like that. So when we have that, we understand that we are valuable no matter what. We move in love, not out of fear. Because when you start thinking of, I need to bring something to the table, that's a fear. That's your fear comes where the anxiety comes from. I'm not going to be loved. People aren't going to see me as a value. Something that they won't want to be my friend. Not like that sounds like a kid thing. That's like an actual true thing. Like I want to be accepted. That's one of my things. Mm-hmm. Like when I was thinking about this stuff last night, I want to be accepted.
Yeah.
I want to be loved and respected.
Yeah. Everything's almost like in a performance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I put so much value into success, into looking like it at least, that I want to bring a good idea. Oh, he had a good idea. Good job, Rocky. Come sit with us. You made it. But if I don't do that, then I'm nothing.
Yeah. I find it really interesting that the way you put that, because he just got back from this trip, right? Mm-hmm. That he went with our pastor, and it was like this basically media thing, right? Like social media, marketing, whatever. And these people all have like millions of followers and subscribers. And this one guy, what were you telling me? The one dude, he like started a YouTube channel, right? Mm-hmm. Just to show he could do it.
He started his mom a YouTube channel 9 months ago. 100,000 subscribers in 9 months.
Nice.
Without any shorts,
no
without
shorts,
any reels,
you know,
just long form
just
video,
to show,
just to say he could do it.
He could do it, right?
Because that was his 8th time doing it, 9th time doing it.
Yeah. So like they know what they're doing. I mean, they actually have like somehow cracked the algorithm.
Yes.
But like one of the things he was talking about while he was there, because I've had this before too, is like you're around all these people that are knowledgeable, they're successful, right, based on whatever the group that you're in, and you kind of get this imposter syndrome, right? You kind of get this, I don't belong here.
I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy to be here. But then you also want to be accepted, right? You want to be worthy, and so you're trying to like bring an air of confidence, or you're trying to say things so that they think that you are part of the inner circle, right? And I always find it interesting that, when I go on those trips or I've done stuff like that, I feel the same way to an extent. But every single time I've been in those opportunities, for some reason, and I think it's just how God works in my life, because He knows I need to be humbled all the time, they find ways to humble me and make me. The last trip I went on like that was similar to that. We were supposed to, there was a group of ladies that went with us too, so we got the ladies a hotel, and then me and this other guy were going to stay at like this house. It's supposed to be this really nice house, right? And so the main guy came and picked us up, and then they had someone get a van for the ladies, right? So they were taking the ladies to the hotel, and they were picking us up to take us to like the place we were going to stay at. So when we get there, the other guy, who was the main dude, he put him in the front seat, right? And he's like, "Oh man, hey, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to sit in the back." I was like, "Okay, no big deal, whatever." Well, I get in the back. There's 2 baby car seats in the back, Okay. So it's like 3 rows of seating. Well, these 2 had car seats in them. Well, it had the only seat that was open was the back bench. But in the back bench, it was full of like crap, like baby stuff. So like the car was like pretty dirty. So I'm crammed in this car. I'm a grown man. I'm 40 something years old, and I'm sitting in the back of a car, like with my knees up in my chest like this. And I'm so far back in the car, I can't participate in the conversation that they're having up front. So they had a whole conversation and talked like I wasn't even in the vehicle. Okay? So then we get to wherever we're going. We go inside and we're doing whatever. So then the next day we go to the event. Okay? And I'm supposed to be one of the main guys like putting this on. I'm doing some training or what have you. So I do the training that evening or whatever we get there, and I'm saying this, doing this, whatever. Well, the next morning we go to the event itself, where they're going to start kind of performing the stuff I'd done the training on, right? So they have a meeting. So I go up there with the main guy, with the guy who was well known. I go behind him, and they go into a room to have like a pre-event meeting. Okay. And as I go to walk into the door, I get stopped, and they say, "Hey, I'm sorry, this is going to be a closed meeting." And they shut the door, and I'm sitting out in the hallway while everybody else is in this meeting. And so I'm sitting out there thinking to myself, dang.
Yeah, I'd have been like, screw these guys.
I'm not very important.
Yeah.
I'm not very special. I spent all this money to come here and give my time for these people, and I'm not really a very important person. And so, like, the rest of the trip was fine. It was a good trip. It was all, I felt like we really did help, and we did serve, and we did all the stuff that we're going to do. But like the fitting in, I did not fit in. Like, I was not like part of the upper echelon. I was not a VIP. I was definitely not anyone that was important. And they made sure, I don't think they did it on purpose, but they made sure I knew that, right? And so when we got back or what have you, they were like, "Oh man, the people that were here," and I was like, "Yeah, I was basically just a hired hand and a servant that I wasn't hired. I paid my way to be there." But yeah, I got shoved in the back, so I'm not special at all. So I think maybe, like, in my mind, I don't think of myself as much, oftentimes, right? And anytime I start to think of myself, I feel like God kind of like corrects me and He humbles me and brings me back down to a level of reality. So I don't know. I guess like when we have that imposter syndrome, when we have those ideas of grandeur, or is that how you say it? Grandeur, whatever. Maybe it's not as important to like. Maybe it's not as important as we think it is of what other people necessarily think. Because oftentimes what they think about us is not what they actually think about us. What we think people value out of us is not usually what they value in us. You mentioned something about your goal, right?
Yes.
It's a goal you made for yourself. Why would anybody else care if you hit your goal or not? Well, no, I'm saying, like, why would it be important to them that you didn't hit this, whatever number or whatever it is? Why would that matter to them as far as your worth to them?
Say the question again.
Why would hitting your goal that you made up?
Yes.
It's not a goal I made for you.
Yeah.
Right? Why would hitting your goal change your worth to someone else?
I think it depends on like I said, I think it depends on the environment. So that was just an example. So like if it's depending.
Well, with that example, why would
with that example, so if it's like my racing goals, for me personally, like what I have struggled with in the past is if I don't hit certain goals, then I do not sit among the other people I work with. I do not sit among my colleagues because I'm not hitting these goals, or I am not fit to be
not elite.
I'm not fit to be a leader because I can't hit my own goals. So I think what it does is it forces me to question those. That's what it does. It forces you to like kind of doubt yourself, and it does make you. And if depending on like how your mindset is going in, if you're not of strong self, you can really like tear yourself up over it, because then you start to question like, well, I don't deserve to be up in this position, and they're going to all think less of me, and behind your back. And what it starts to do, it starts to unravel like, oh, well, are people like talking about like, oh, well, she's not even good enough to like hit her own goals. Why is she leading people?
I'm going to be exposed. They're going to see me for who I really am.
Exactly. And that's what your demons or your darker self or the little evil angry voice in the back of your head is telling you. That's not necessarily true, but that's the perspective you are feeding and replaying in your head.
It is, very not true. But yeah, that's one of my things. Is like, I'm going to be exposed. They're going to see who I really am.
I think another really big example, if we bring it to like this is something I think a lot of men can relate to, because I think this is a very big issue, is men in a home situation. Like, you have a lot of men. I know my father definitely falls in this category. If you are a man and you do not, like, you are not the main breadwinner, if you are not primarily supporting your family, and maybe if your marriage fails, then that's in a lot of places, like, that's seen as failure. It's not you have a great relationship with your kids and they're healthy and they're happy people. It's, well, maybe some people put it as like, well, my kids are struggling, and that's a reflection of me as a parent. So those are all things that failure. I think that's another example. So like you said, it might be other people on the outside looking in. They might not identify you with those failures, but that's how I think you identify me. Does that make sense?
So that's a personal thing that you got to get over if you're thinking like that, right? Well, so part of this, I think, is that with failure, just in my experience, comes a lot of opportunity. So, when we were talking last night, when I got home, all of a sudden, something clicked in my brain. And we were talking about, we have this little group or whatever that meets on Wednesday nights. And we were talking about, I actually mentioned it. So one time and this was a very specific example I gave, but one time, I worked for this company and we got a bonus. And every year we would get a bonus, right? And I was expecting to get like a check for, with zeros on it.
Depending on it.
Huh? I was actually kind of depending on it. Yeah. And
you spent it before you had it?
No, I didn't spend it before I had it. I just needed it, right? And I got a Christmas card. And my boss, my old boss, the way he was is that, he thought he was funny, but he would like you wouldn't get to leave until you got your Christmas bonus type thing. And so we'd been there all day. Well, I was always the last one to go in. And we had in that particular office, we had like 75 employees or something like that. So they would start at whatever time. So I'd be there till like 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Before I'm trying to go home, right? He brings me in, what have you, gives me my Christmas card. And I always preferred to just go home. But he wanted me to always open it there. And
that's always so awkward.
Show my gratitude and all this other stuff. So I opened the card expecting a check. And there was a gift card to Saltgrass. So first of all, I don't eat at Saltgrass. Okay, it's not that I don't like it; it's just not a place I ever go. It's like if I'm going to steak, I'm not going to Saltgrass for a steak. Second of all, it was a gift card for I think it was $35. So you can't get anything at Saltgrass for $35. Not maybe one person
you can get one entree.
I could have had lunch by myself one day, but I was also expecting a check, and so in this scenario we were talking about. You're wanting something, you're praying for something, you're expecting something, and then it's like you get something that's technically a blessing or something that's good, but it's disrespectful. It's like a slap in the face, right? Because it's not what you wanted, and it's not what you were expecting, And so last night, as I was laying down, I was getting ready for bed or what have you, I was thinking about that, and I was kind of praying about it, and I started thinking to myself, what if I went to Saltgrass with that gift card? And while I was there was a young lady that was there, or my waitress or waiter, whatever. And while they were waiting on me, they looked like they were having a tough day. And so, obviously, I gave them a tip, and then I asked them, "Are you doing okay?" And then they shared with me that they weren't doing okay. And then we got into a conversation. And then
this is a real scenario, by the way.
Huh?
Is this a real scenario?
No, I was just thinking in my head.
Okay, you're just okay.
Where could it have gone?
Okay, I got you.
And so it just kept snowballing, and it just kept snowballing in my mind. What could have come from that, right? So the disrespectful thing that I thought was I don't even think I used that gift card. To be honest with you, I don't think I ever used it because I was so ticked off about it, right? But what if I'd used the gift card and something good had come from it? Do you see what I'm saying? And so in something that I didn't like, in something that was, I guess, on my part, I felt like it was a failure on my boss to take care of me, could have turned into something that could have been super amazing. Because I've seen things like that happen before in my life, where one thing led to another, and actually everything in my life, right? One thing small led to something else small, And that took me to something else that was eventually very, very, very big, right? So think about how like we met. Think of how like we came together in relationship. I went to this place one night. I took our youth group or what have you because we were looking for something fun to do. And I was like, dang, this place is really cool. So I joined as a member there. And I started going regularly. I didn't participate in any of the cool stuff. I was always in the gym because I thought that was like the classes were lame to be a part of a class. Well, if you know me now, I think classes are awesome. I think working out together is the best way to do it. Well, then I thought that was an aerobics class and it was dumb. So that's the transformation that I've come in the last, however many years. So, but that one choice to go to that place that one night led to, for the most part, my entire life changing. Because if it hadn't been for that one choice to go take our kids to that spot, I would have never done Ninja Warrior. I would have never gotten on the show. I would have never helped Sam start Ninja Warrior classes. I wouldn't have got back into training and coaching people again. I wouldn't have had a desire to start my own business. I wouldn't have had a desire to do obstacle course racing and then learn how to run and then get certified as a run. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that one moment was a catalyst for like every other major important decision and good thing I would say in my life since then.
That little thing.
That one little thing. And so, I think when we look at failures or we look at things in our lives that are challenges, right? I think honestly, if you're not failing, you're probably not challenging yourself enough. That's probably the problem. That's the biggest problem, right? And so with hard challenges, with progression, you're going to have hiccups and failures. But in those moments, you never know, depend on your response, what good or what could come from it. There's a gentleman by the name of Chuck Swindoll. He made a statement and he said that life is 99% what happens to you, 1% what happens to you, 99% of how you respond.
Yes.
So in everything, your attitude is the most important thing. And so a lot of times when we have these like challenges, right? First of all, sometimes we fail because we are nervous or because we are tentative because we don't want to fail. And so we don't give it our all.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right? So we basically speak it into existence.
Yeah.
Other times when we fail or what have you, or when we fall short, maybe that's another way to put it. When we fall short, maybe it's just preparation. We weren't prepared enough for whatever the goal or whatever the thing is we had in mind. And then sometimes it's just, you just messed up. Sometimes you just failed. The weather wasn't good. You didn't have enough nutrition. You weren't properly fueled for the day, right? Or rested or what have you. It was an off day. And so from that, I think Lauren said it earlier about learning from it. If we can just take a step back and learn from, okay, why did we fail? What were the catalysts that led to that? Well, then we can use that as an opportunity to move forward. We can use that as an opportunity to grow from it so that next time maybe we don't fail as bad. Maybe next time we have a little bit higher level of success. And if we take those little steps forward each and every time, then the goal we have set in mind, the pace we have set in mind, whatever it may be, gets closer and closer and closer, I feel like.
Yeah, you take the responsibility. You take the guilt, which is pretty much the responsibility of it. I did this, but you got to remove the shame from it, from failure, because we get so caught up on the shame that comes from it. That's what actually gives us that anxiety of it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't complete this. I'm a quitter. I didn't do this. I'm a loser. Like, you start giving yourself words that weren't even part of it. That's not failure. Right. That's shame. And
so why do you feel like shame is like the initial reaction? Because I mean, Tuesday when I did my run, when I'm walking back and there's this big group of people that are done with the workout, as I'm looking at them and approaching them, the first thing in my mind is shame. Like, I'm supposed to be
the coach.
I'm supposed to be the coach, right? I'm supposed to show everybody how it's done. And so I'm walking back, like on the walk of shame, to them. And then in your mind, you're thinking, okay, how many excuses can I give to explain why I sucked it up so bad today, right? So why do you think shame is the initial reaction when you fail?
No one wants to admit that they failed. No, I think it's really hard for people to admit that they weren't good at something, which is funny because I mean, we're all very ego driven. We all want to like look like we know what we're doing. We all want to seem like, we're masters of our craft or that we're handling things with ease and grace. But especially if you're learning to do something, that's what you're doing. You're learning. So no one walks into this earth with a vast knowledge and skill to do everything amazingly. Like, that's just not how it works. But I think our egos creep in and tell us, well, people won't think I'm as special if I can't do it right the first time.
Yeah. So why would someone assume that they should be good at everything the first time they do it? I'm always curious about that, because like with kids, you work with kids, you know, when we do stuff, if they don't win, or if they, you know, can't make a bucket the very first time, they like lose their stuff.
Nobody wants to be bad at anything.
Well, of course not.
I think we glorify. I think what it is when we like watch anything like success, whether it's like you watch a TV show, you're watching like a basketball game, you watch like when kids watch like a game with their parents. We witness how excited everyone gets for the success of the team, or the success of the person on the contest, or the reality show, the person who won and got the rose, whatever. We always see those success, and what it is as a society, and especially with media and everything, we've heightened what that success feels like. And it's like, oh my gosh, you're going to have all this money, and you won, you got the last rose, so now you have a great love, or you got the success of winning the game, so now you get the nice ring, and you have the fame to go with it, and the big check. So I think what happens is, at a very young age, we kind of start to learn that like that feeling, that really fame feeling, is what we're chasing. And if I'm not getting it, then it's a huge loss.
We all want to matter. We all want to be seen. We all want to, like I said, no one wants to be bad. So, I mean, I can't imagine how many times I've had so many things that I've done in my life that I was like, this is going to be it. I'm going to be so naturally good at it when I first start. Everyone's going to love me. And then I fail.
Yeah.
It's not good. And it's like,
And I think like growing up also, if we're talking about like how kids relate to it, I think as parents and as like people who like watch and help little kids grow, like we don't want to, like no parent wants to see their kid sad and upset. So I think there's the tendency to like help them be successful in some way. So I think that feeling of not getting what they want, essentially, which is the win, it can feel crushing to a kid, because they're like, wait, I'm used to like taking my first steps and it's a big deal. I, wrote my first sentence. It was a big deal. I did this and it was a big deal. Oh, I didn't win this. So now what? I don't get that response.
So those are the reasons why. Okay. So how do you get around that? How do you get over that? How do you fix that? How do you learn to appreciate the failures? How do you learn to appreciate and learn from like the discovery of not getting it, either not getting it right, or falling face first, right? And crashing and burning, right? So we always talk about progression. Okay, so the goal is progression. So the goal is ultimately always to get better. Okay, so if you go out and do something, I don't care what it is, okay? Say running. If you go out and run and you set the pace at a pace you can run, okay? Let's say you set a goal to, I don't know, give me something, Rocky, something goal outside of running, like
outside of running?
Yeah.
To make a YouTube channel very successful.
Make a YouTube channel that's successful, okay? Well, you set your goal to a successful YouTube channel that you just make a video every week, okay? Well, both of those goals are super attainable. You know already that you can run the pace, so setting the goal to run a pace that you already run and you run consistently, that's not, like, there's no risk of failure. If you start a YouTube channel and the whole goal is just to make a video every week, well, that's no big deal. I mean, yeah, there's work that goes into it, but there's no real risk of failure necessarily, because the goal is like so attainable that there's no risk to it. So when you lack risk, or I guess maybe another way to put it that everybody understands is, the lower the risk, the lower the reward. The higher the risk, the higher the reward. So when you put yourself in positions where there is a high risk of failure, well, when you do actually succeed, there's usually going to be a lot more growth. It may take you longer to succeed. I mean, that is a challenge right there. To make a goal that is so attainable, that's a little scary, that causes you a little bit of fear. The reason their fear is there is because you are pretty certain you're going to fail. You're not going to get it right the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth time. But it's in that struggle, it's in that challenge, it's in that constant progression and learning, like Lauren said, that that's really where it's not. Then it shifts from the goal, and it starts becoming about like who you're becoming throughout the process, like what you're learning throughout the process, how you're growing, and kind of like my example of going to the ninja gym or whatever, and how that changed the trajectory. Those were all different things that were so far outside my realm of understanding concepts and comfort level that it completely changed how I thought about everything, right? And so it also changed how I responded to things, how I started looking to learn because I became more interested. So it's those little things, right? It's those small things that we start like giving more attention to, because the goal was so big or the ceiling was so high that we had to fall and trip up a little bit to get there.
Sometimes I feel like you don't know you're in the middle of failing when you're in it. Like, have you ever been like so delusional? Like, this is a sure win. I'm going to be successful.
Have I ever been that delusional?
Yeah, like, no. I'm going to be like, this is going to be, everyone's going to love this idea. This is gold.
See, I think it's the opposite. I think we never realize we're succeeding. I think we're so.
So this is interesting. You got this dude living in the clouds. You got this chick over here living underneath the ground, and I'm somewhere in the middle.
Yep.
Well, no, because like I said last night, existential crisis. I was like telling myself, I didn't realize like I'm in the process of failing right now.
Last night?
Yeah, like right now I'm in the process of failing. It
Why
may look like I'm doing
failing
good
last night?
Because like in the past month and a half, I've had so much things happening to where like, we got this guy over here who's been on this TV network like once a week now, twice a week.
Right.
And I'm already doing the Wednesday night, Thursday night, and then adding the Friday night or whatever night he's doing that.
Yeah.
And then my grandma passing. Like, those are so many things that pulled me away from being with my family in the evening. That's my daughter's at school all day, then in the evening time. So I'm kind of been barely around. Then I went out of town, things like that. So it was like last night, I was thinking of my values. I was like, why am I putting so much work? Why is my identity so tied into my failures? I'm over like trying to literally like think this all out. And I'm like, what are my values? And I was like, her, right? Because she was laying right beside me. I was like, her, she's my value. And then I thought about it, and I was like, I'm failing you right now. Like, I haven't even put that in my head. I haven't been here. Like, I cooked the other night. I bragged about that, how I cooked the other night, but that was the first time I cooked in like a month and a half.
Yeah.
It had been so long. And I was like, dang, I'm failing here. Like, you're the one person I don't want to fail, and I'm failing you right now. She's not on to me. She's not getting on to me. But in my head, it's like, I value you too much and the time I'm putting in to you right now is not even close to how much I love you. I needed to go better and more. And so yeah, I was like, and I didn't realize I'm in the process of failing a little bit right now in my head. But the recognizing of that, to take responsibility, is like, okay, how you gonna make it up?
Yeah, but I mean, is that really failure? Or you mentioned, I think when we were talking on the Patreon, the word priorities came up or something right there, and you're like, Lauren, I'd be interested to know your priorities list or something like that, right? I mean, the thing about priorities is that they change from time to time, right? And it's not like just because you spend more time over here, it doesn't mean that this thing becomes less of a priority. It's just a season, right? It's just a short amount of time. I mean, we always, use this phrasing, keep the main thing, right? So if the main thing is to be a good father, be a good husband, to provide and love and do all this other stuff, right? There's I think in different parts of your life, that looks differently, And there are some times where you have to do one thing for a period of time so that you're able to do other things, right? So that delayed gratification. So I think for a lot of people, we make these arbitrary numbers or these arbitrary goals up in mind, right? And we assume they're going to come quickly, right? Or it's going to happen fast, Or on the flip side, we put in some sort of effort and we don't see an immediate return on that investment. And so there are so many things in life, the majority of things, the good things anyway, they take time to develop. They take time to come to fruition. And investing a little bit of time or a little bit of effort into it doesn't work. I had someone tell me one time that they were getting into a venture, okay? And as they were getting into the venture, they said, hey, I gave it this much time and it's just not working, And I thought to myself in that moment, I was like, well, number one, that's not that long a time to really like invest in anything that, you know, you're fully committed to. Secondly, you haven't really fully committed. You've kind of only been like half in, half out. Right? You haven't like fully given your all, you know. But I also realized that it may not have been like their main thing, right? It may not have been their passion, right? It may have been something they were interested in, but it may not have been like the thing they were meant to do or the thing they really wanted to do. And their priorities were different than my ideas of what a priority should be, you know? And so if that's the case where they're at in their life, okay, that's fine. That's where they're at in their season. Maybe they grow to a different place in a year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. You know, who am I to say what you know, what's right for them and what's right for their, you know, their particular position in life. But for me, if I say I'm going to do something, then I have to fully commit to it. Like, I have to give my all to it. I have to burn the ships, and failure is not an option. Even when it looks like all I'm doing is failing. Even when it looks like all I'm doing is like hitting wall after wall after wall. Well, if that's the case, well, then I've got to take a step back and say, okay, what are the things that I can do that I can do better? Why am I not progressing? Why am I not getting better? Why are things not changing? Is it because I'm doing the wrong things? Is it because I'm not doing enough? Is it because I'm doing too much? What is the reasoning behind it? But understanding that no matter what, if that's my goal, I'm still going to go after that goal, even in light of the challenges I may be coming against.
But that's like a very healthy way to look at it. Like, that's like almost like a healthy mindset. And honestly, not a lot of people are, because for the longest I was not, and I didn't realize any of this for the longest. And then because like so much shame was tied to my failures. I mean, like, you talking about, sometimes I would think that I was the curse why things weren't working out. Like, if I were to leave, it would be better for the people there.
Like you're a monkey's paw?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like literally, like, if there's a big break, maybe I'm thinking it's holding it back from the big break. I got to go, and then the big break will happen. Failures last night. I was thinking, so you just reminded me, I was thinking about my failures last night. So Ethereum, I invested into it like 12 years ago, and I put, like, I didn't have that much money, but I put $100 into it. It was like a dollar at that time. Like 93 cents, like a dollar. I remember like telling my mom, like, my game plan. I'm gonna hold on to this for like 10 years, Mom. I'm gonna get paid. Just wait. But mind you, I was broke.
Yeah.
I needed that $100.
Yeah.
I needed it back. And then it only grew. It only been like a month, and it grew a penny, if that. And my mom was like, "Don't worry, like, I want 100 in it too. Like, just I want to see what it's about." She was like, she wanted to invest in it too, so we put another 100. So I had $200 in it. Well, we had $200 in it, and like another month or two go by, and I'm like broke. And I'm like telling my mom, like, "Look, can I get this money? Can I sell it? Get my money back? Cause I need it. Like, I'm all right. Like, just give me my money back. Like, all right, cool. You know how much it's worth today? $1,800
A share?
a share.
That's awesome.
And
you had 100 shares?
Yeah, 200.
You had 200 shares. That is awesome.
That hurts.
That is awesome.
But that's not a failure.
Yeah.
I just did it before it had a big break.
You just didn't have the patience.
I didn't have the patience.
You didn't wait it out.
Yeah.
You didn't persevere through it.
I'm one of those people who are like, oh, I had stock in Apple, but I sold off early. Like, I'm one of those dodo birds who people talk. They write books about me for being dumb.
But is it dumb, or is it just the lack of knowledge, patience, and I guess to an extent, like, courage?
I didn't lose money.
You didn't. You lost no money. But in fact, you actually probably made a few cents. Sounds like
shame is tied to that.
Yeah.
The unhealthy mindset. It was so much shame. Like, see, I don't got it like that.
Yeah.
Kind of dumb. I'll leave before the big break happens.
Dude, I can't tell you, as far as like athletes that I've talked to and coached, and you know, sometimes I can maybe count on one hand the amount of athletes that, like, I just couldn't help. You know what I mean? Like, they just wouldn't listen, or they wouldn't like stick in with it, right, for an extended period of time. One hand, maybe, of all the people, hundreds of thousands of people I've coached, like, one hand I can count that. But the ones I remember the most are those people. The ones that like, basically I failed as a coach for them, you know. But without a doubt, every single one of them, they wouldn't fully commit. They didn't want to listen. They wanted to which was crazy to me, because they wanted to get the results that I was offering them doing the things they used to do.
But why is that you failing?
It wasn't. It wasn't. But I still, because because that's my job. I guess that's my
identity.
That's my passion,
Yeah.
right? That's my desires to help people and guide people, what have you. When you're not able to connect with those people, or you're not able to convince, quote unquote, convince those people, then you feel like you failed in getting through to them, right? So as a coach, the easiest part, in my opinion, is the knowledge, is the understanding, the aerobic capacity stuff, the threshold stuff, the putting workouts together. That's easy. I could right now, Lauren, we could go into that gym right now. I have no workout in my mind. I could put together a workout right now in 10 seconds that would blow your socks off.
Probably.
Right? And I could give you a progression for like 8 weeks.
Probably.
Okay? That's easy. That's an easy part. The hard part is connecting with people and convincing people that there is like
It's
a path to growth.
yeah. It's handling the expectations and the emotions that come with.
Well, it's really just convincing people to trust the process.
Yeah.
And because some of it, a lot of it, to an extent, is counterintuitive. It doesn't make necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, if you understand the science, it is very much.
But up front,
makes
it
sense.
doesn't.
But it can be a little bit counterintuitive to an extent. And it's obviously opposite of what most people are doing anyway, which you would think that would immediately make it click in their brain because they say, hey, I've been doing this and it's not working.
It's not working.
So maybe if I try this, it will, because it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
But the failure isn't that you don't have good plans or good knowledge because you've studied to show yourself approved, right? You put in the effort, you've learned the information, you've tested the information over and over and over and over and over again. It's the idea that you could not connect with this person and you could not guide them in the way that they needed to be guided,
Yeah.
right? And so that's the big part on a coach, is less about, knowing what to do. That should be every coach's foundation. If you don't know what you're doing and you're not getting results, you shouldn't be doing it, bottom line. But the challenge is being able to take that stuff and give it to that one person, because every individual is different, and be able to help lead them and guide them and help that transformation begin. And when that doesn't happen, when you're not able to connect with them for whatever reason, you feel like you failed them, but then also you failed at your life's mission or your whatever.
But we kind of talk about on Wednesdays, you're no one's savior.
No,
one.
you're not.
An athlete is always well-rounded. A well-rounded athlete. That also goes with the mental.
It does.
So if they're good at physical stuff, but their mental is not open to listening, and that makes them not really a great athlete.
It does. I mean, because they could maybe improve, right, and but then when it comes to D-Day, race day, whatever, they're probably going to crumble. They're probably going to crack under the pressure, right? We always say there's nothing new on race day, and so I think a lot of times the focus on that is like, don't wear new shoes, don't wear new socks, right? And that's definitely important stuff. But it's also like, don't take new nutrition you've never had before. Practice your nutrition overnight. Also, it's a feeling you may have in the race. How hard is it going to be in that race? Putting yourself in the situations you might be in the race. Running in positions where it's rainy or it's hot. Always running on the treadmill. You can get a lot of fitness on the treadmill, but you shouldn't just run on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Because you need to put yourself in positions of discomfort, comfort, hot,
Uneven
rainy,
ground.
cold, uneven ground, hills, turns, because you, on race day, that's probably something you very, very likely are going to have to experience. And so when we say nothing new on race day, it just basically means we want to make sure that we get the experiences throughout the training that will allow us to get to the race to set us up for the closest level of success that we can have. And so, that's part, I think, of the growth process, part of the learning process. And in that, you're going to take a gel that might make you want to use the bathroom. Okay? So you may fail, but you're learning what not to do.
Yep.
Don't drink milk
Don't drink milk.
and eat granola and a banana with a cup of coffee before you go do your run.
Probably not.
You're setting yourself up to poop yourself. Okay? Maybe if you're going to go do a hard workout in the afternoon, maybe you want to make sure you get enough calories in your body and make sure you have stuff to fuel yourself on the run so that you have the energy necessary to hit the paces. So these are all things that go into allowing yourself the ability to adapt and train and get better, but also like giving yourself enough grace to know that you don't have to be perfect to succeed.
Facts.
Yeah, I actually I spoke about trusting the process a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I I really don't like that term. It sounds so good. I even said that. I mentioned that, how like it sounds so motivational. I got to pee real bad. That's why I'm moving so much. But it sounds so motivational, but it really, you hate to hear it, because like it's usually when something doesn't go right, man, just trust the process.
Yeah.
You're having no growth. Trust the process. It's like someone telling you, just pray about it. Just pray about it. Like, man, I don't want to pray about it.
Prayer don't work.
Yeah, I wanted to get fixed.
Yeah, I want it fixed now.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the biggest struggle is we want to fix it. We want to be capable of enough to fix it on our own and not need help.
So what did we talk about last night? When something goes wrong, our quick first thing is, why, God?
Yeah.
That's how.
Why is this stuff happening to me?
So that's how people denounce them. Oh, you ain't even real. All this calamity in the world, you ain't here. But when something goes right, look what I did. Look how I'm valuable. I earned a seat at the table. I did this. We take responsibility when it goes right. But when it goes bad, we shed all that responsibility onto someone else.
Yeah. Rocky's been doing it for years. We had a meeting a couple weeks ago, or probably a few months ago, and I was like, hey, we should do this on a podcast that we're a part of. And and Rocky's been getting all the credit for it since then.
I have.
He's been telling everybody that change your mind, change your life. He came up with that.
That is one of my favorite things.
He loves to say that.
I love to say that.
He loves saying that, right? So he is a master at that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised he hasn't put like a little "by Rocky" underneath the wall.
I use it in my speaking.
Yeah. You're not the only one. There's plenty of people that
I spoke, I put change your mind, change your life.
It's okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. You know what? This is what matters to me.
We should start making them pay royalties.
Is that it affects your life and that it's helping you.
Yeah.
And if it's helping someone else, right? I run around, I think I mentioned the other day, I run around all around here all the time seeing people do my warm-up.
But also when I said that, I looked you in the eye. I turned around, I was like...
Oh, yeah, he looked me straight in the eye to make sure I knew that he was taking credit for my thing. And half these people they don't even know who I am.
Uh-huh.
But somebody that I've coached or someone I've talked to or whatever, they're taking what I've done and they're spreading the message, right? So I'm cool with that. I'm all right. I'm still being effectual. Maybe they're not doing it 100% correctly, and that does bother me a little bit, but they're doing better than they would have been doing, and I might have had something to do with that, maybe. So I take that.
So I met a guy. He started YouTube channels. He's got 3 YouTube channels to over 1 million subscribers. He helped other people. He had 7 or 9 over 100,000 subscribers. Like, this is what he does for a living. Mm-hmm. He does that. You don't know what he looks like. No one knows his name because he's under the radar. He actually has a YouTube channel that it's just his voice.
Oh, so it's no face. Okay.
This was how he actually started, and he got really big on that. But no one knows his face. You probably seen his videos. Y'all probably seen it. But y'all won't know his face because he just not into the... I like that about him.
Yeah.
He didn't care for the credit. He just loves it. He loves the game. He loves the actual process.
Yeah.
He trusts the process. He wants to... He got his mom to 100K subscribers in 9 months because he trusted the process. He wanted to see if I could do this. He did it. His dad just started one last week. I looked at it today. Last Saturday, he just started it. I looked at it last night. I almost said today, but last night, 1,200 subscribers.
Oh, that's awesome.
1,200.
That's awesome.
No social media, just video.
They obviously know what they're doing.
The dude has cracked the algorithm.
He has cracked the algorithm for sure.
Yeah, and you would think like, oh.
You give me this guy's number.
I have his number.
We need to go have lunch. You said you were having dinner with him or something, didn't you?
We had dinner with him.
Oh, we need to hook him up. We need to hook up with him, have him on the podcast.
He's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
He's real awkward too.
Well, I think that's so. Like, I'm being tongue in cheek, but I'm being 100% serious as well. Is that when you are challenged with something, when you're not like being maybe as successful as you want to be, maybe it's time to take a step back and talk to somebody that maybe knows more or is more successful, right? We've talked about it before on the podcast where, show me the 5 people you spend the most time with and I'll show you your future type situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Show me who you're running with. Show me who you're training with. I'll show you what your results are going to look like. Right? So if you're running with people that are always hurt and injured, you're going to be hurt and injured all the time.
Always running
right?
way
if
too
you're
fast.
running with people that are not getting PRs and are constantly making excuses for why this wasn't the best race, that's going to be your future. You train with people and run with people that are getting PRs, that are consistent and just living their best life. congratulations. That's probably your future as well, because it's just hard to be around people. You know, there's a few people I know that refuse with everything inside them to drink the Kool-Aid, but it's really hard to hang and spend time around people and not like pick up on their things, you know, and like buy into what they're a part of and do, you know, the things they do, and, you know, pick up whether they're good or bad habits. It's just human nature.
Yeah.
It's really hard not to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you invited me to church, I was like, man, I like this dude. He's really good athlete, good
looking
person. He's a good person.
Dynamic.
I was like, I'll check it out. I was open to it because I already liked who you were. You had a good resume with me from the gym. I was like, I'll check it out. And it was going to be life-changing.
Yeah. Little things. Little things, right? So when are some times maybe in like your, like, say, we'll say athletic career, Lauren, when were some things where you learned like a bigger lesson from a failure than you learned from like one of your successes, right? So was there a time?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think I've mentioned it a lot. Would be the first time I did pro solo. As far as a race goes, that was a very rough experience that I was really not as prepared for as I should have been, and I literally cried in that race. I wanted to quit in that race, and after like really sitting and thinking about it and like taking stock of what I did leading up to it, that got me in that position of feeling like this is awful. I don't want to keep doing this. I had to like be very real with myself about like, okay, well, let's look at the training plan. Let's look at the running you did, and look at the things you kind of struggled on. What were some excuses you made along the way for not being, not following a better run schedule and not being more diligent with your nutrition. So taking very real accountability, because I think that's one thing a lot of us try to do is we try to kind of excuse ourselves from accountability, and we try to like, kind of like y'all were saying earlier, find other things to put the blame on. But if you really want to succeed, you do have to sit down, put the ego aside, and take that painful accountability for like every aspect of your preparation and start to go from there. You have to start chiseling. But I think the pro solo race was the biggest one that comes to mind. And then I'm sure there's been another one in there, but I can't think of it right now, to be honest. I'm sure there's been plenty.
So what if you had gone through that same event and maybe you weren't crying the whole time, right? Maybe you finished it, right, and you felt fine, or what have you. Do you feel like you would have learned the same lesson? Or do you think you would be where you're at now or be as good as you are now had you?
No, I actually don't. I think it, honestly, when I think about it, I think it kind of needed to happen the way it happened, because I did learn from it. And also, I had to, it really taught me a lot about myself, and it taught me a lot about really, if I want to do this seriously, taking myself seriously. Also, it was my first solo race. So I had, even though I'd been training.
Pro solo.
It was my first time running that weight by myself. And that's something that, I was training the weights and all that, but getting in the arena and actually applying it in that particular scenario, it felt very different. As like the arena tends to feel different because you're in there with all the people, there's all the hype, there's all the running around, so all these things about it, that it was my very first time really experiencing it. So I think I needed to kind of go through that experience to be like, okay, now I know I'm not going to do this again.
Rocky, what about you? When was the time where you had a major, maybe it doesn't even have to be a major failure, it could be a small failure, right? Where like you feel like you learned a lesson or you got something out of it.
Athletically or life?
Let's say athletically.
The first Iron Sports Ninja competition, it was like when it was solo, the very first one. Mm-hmm. I feel like I was crushing it. I was doing great, very great, but at the very end there was like a bonus points type of thing. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of like the end all break all. And there was one that was like worth a lot of points, but it was like you had to do so much things
Some
to even
dumb
do.
thing, yeah.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that really long?
Like monkey bars, double steps,
See the
comeback,
cliffhanger, yeah, all
It
sorts
was
of crazy stuff.
something like that. And I remember looking at it like, oh, I could do that, and I had the energy to do that. And somebody who I wanted to probably be accepted by at the time was like, hey man, let's do this one first. I'm gonna go do this one. Like, want to do it? And he was like, oh, okay, why not?
So it's all a point system.
Yeah.
Okay,
And this
gotcha.
one was lower on the tier and the points. It's like
Gotcha.
probably the least.
Okay.
And
But
I
it was
did it.
very doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also exhausted me.
Okay.
I remember like my forearms were like done after that.
Yeah.
And when I knew I could have did that thing in my sleep, you know you could do something in my sleep. I knew I could did it, and then so I attempted to do it. After that, it was like you only had a certain amount of time too. I attempted to do it, and like I got to the very end, and I dropped.
Oh, wow.
Like right before you're supposed to touch the thing, and I dropped. So
Doesn't count.
nothing.
Yeah.
No points. I got third place. That kind of hurt me because like I really wasn't far behind from first in the point system. I was like, man, I was right there. And the guy who won, I mean, he's like one of the most famous ninjas right now,
Yeah.
Daniel,
The gill.
the Gill.
The gill.
Yeah, and that I was like, man, I could have beat him. I was like right there. I mean, what if situation? But that ate me up for a little bit because so much value. Look what he can do. He's just third place.
Yeah.
He's just leftovers because that dude ended up being the shining star. He ended up being
Best of the best.
the best of the best.
But he also has fully committed to it and been doing it for years now.
yeah, he's
fully bought in.
1,000%. He was committed when he first. I remember he did the interview. He was committed the day of.
Day one. Yep.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's really interesting. I could not tell you. Now, I say this with two caveats. One, I'm a sandbagger.
Yes, you are.
Very much so. I play it aloof, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I don't think I can do this. Oh, whatever. And I know darn good and well that's not true. Okay. So I'm honest. I'll be honest about that. It's true. So one of the things I always say is I'm not a very good athlete. I don't do things like I'm not naturally good at things. That's actually not true. I'm actually a pretty good athlete. Okay. I'm not like top tier. I'm one of those guys who's like good at everything. I'm not great at any one thing, but I'm very athletic and that I can pretty much pick up anything that I put my efforts into and probably be pretty decent at it pretty quickly.
Yeah, if there's a team race with different efforts, you can do any one.
Any one of them. Doesn't matter what it is, right? Probably pretty quickly, right? You see me golf. Am I a good golfer?
Yeah, you have a good, smooth
I got a good, nice, clean stroke, right? And maybe 1 out of 1,000 shots because I don't ever play is good, right? But
you were coachable.
I'm coachable. I'll listen, right? And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I can get good at things pretty quickly. So, but I sandbag without a shadow of a doubt. Like I love to do that. Like I love making people think I suck at stuff and then just going in and smashing their faces in. I love that. So I say those two caveats to say this, in that I expect when I go do something, I'm actually going to be good at it. And when I'm not, I'm very disappointed in myself. And if you listen, you'll hear me say, come on, James, you're better than that. Or get it together, James, or something like that. So I expect, and maybe some of it's because of my upbringing, I don't know necessarily, but I expect like a high level of performance from myself. And when I don't, I take a very personal stock in myself of like, what kind of effort did I put into it? What kind of focus did I train? Did I learn? Whatever. But of all the things I've done in my life, from say high school up to this moment, and I've been all-state in basketball, all-state in track. I was all-state in tennis. Okay, I don't think anybody even knows that. I ran track a little bit in college. Played a little bit of basketball in college. Did American Ninja Warrior. Made it. I was one of the original finalists. Of all the things that I've ever done and succeeded in, I cannot tell you with any kind of like actual like detail for the things I've done well. Like I can't tell you like what some track meet I ran and won. I can't tell you. I couldn't tell you where it was. What was my time? I couldn't tell you like what school it was at. Like whatever game that got us to the state tournament, I couldn't tell you. I don't remember who we played. I don't remember any of that. But every time that I have crashed and burned, I can remember it with clarity. Like Like I was there in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, right now, I can picture it in my head how I felt, all the things that happened. So all the times that I have like not gone up to the bar, right, made it to the bar, the top of the whatever I was my expectation was. I can remember with just like when we did Manchester, we talked a little bit about it earlier by not actually following our own advice.
Yeah.
I remember with complete clarity standing in the tunnel and looking at Tommy and saying, dude, I'm exhausted. Like, and him looking back at me with eyes of like fear, you know? And I remember like almost every lap of running and how bad it hurt and how bad we were struggling. I remember like seeing these two guys that we had raced with before, and that was it boosted me up.
Yeah.
And it gave me a little bit of mojo, and I was like, let's go. These guys can't beat us.
We got to get them.
You know? And they weren't even our heat, our age group or anything.
It just gives you something to kind of chase.
But it was just a little something, right? And then we got to the wall balls, and I remember not being able to hit the target. Like literally like throwing the ball up and it missed. Like it wouldn't go high enough. I couldn't get it high enough, like 4 or 5 reps in a row. I remember all these little moments of that race because I felt like we failed so miserably and we did not live up to like our fitness or our capabilities, right? And but I can't tell you those moments where I was super successful and I crushed it. Like I remember things happened, right? But I learned a lot from all those experiences because I think, not shame, it was never, I don't think I ever felt shame necessarily, but I felt heavy disappointment in myself because I didn't either live up to the expectation or I did not prepare myself for the level of the expectation I already had for myself.
You remind me of one of my sports stories. So I was an elite baseball player. I mean, elite. Very great. Like, team was phenomenal. It was like a travel team. You got to try out every year. It was like a whole thing. And I remember because it was probably 1, 2, 3, 4 years of doing this travel team, and I put so much value into it. I loved the sport. Like that was I loved it.
Yeah.
And we got to the, you know how you see the like the Little League World Series and you see all the teams like that. We got to that tournament to where it was going to determine who was going to represent Texas.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it was
in the Little League World Series.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got to that tournament, and I had kind of been on a slump that tournament, and I remember like we're at the hotel before that game, and my dad was like, "Look, we're here. It's a new game. It's a new day. Let it go. All right, just wipe it off. Let's focus on this." He gave me the whole nice pep talk, and I went like, it was the last inning, 2 outs, 2 men on base, and I am the leading run. Like if I score,
you're winning the game.
We're winning the game.
Yeah.
And I've been.
That's like every person's dream, man.
It is, right?
Yeah.
And I go at the bat, strike 1, strike 2, ball 1, and then good pitch, hit it, it goes, and I just start taking off, and I'm running. I get a triple. I got away to third base. 2 runs scored in. Everyone jumping and screaming. You know what I do? I jump and scream. You know what happens?
You got out?
They tagged me out.
Oh, wow.
Whole team was mad at me.
Of course.
Everyone, I'm devastated. Imagine that car ride home. Like, if it was any other player, my dad would be like, "Man, that kid messed up. I can't believe he did that." But it was me.
Yeah.
And it was so, like, you got to learn how to control your feelings type of thing. Like, that was, like, the conversation it was. And so the next season was about to start. And I had got such on, like, I got grandfathered in to that season. That season I didn't have to try out. Every other season I had to try out. That one I didn't have to try out because I had a resume. It's like, yeah, come on back. We want you. I remember my dad getting the phone call, and he was like, "Hello? When's practice? When are we going to start?" "Oh, all right. All right, just fine. Just let me know if you need anything." Blah, blah, blah. Hung up. I'm like, "So when's practice start?" Because, you know, I loved it. I loved playing. He was like, "You didn't make the team. They cut you." Like, they didn't even want you trying out. They didn't want me to try out. I didn't get the option to try out.
Wow.
They cut me.
Because of that one play?
Because that I had a slump that last. I wasn't doing too good. I got, you know. And I think that's kind of where it's all started with the whole value. I need to show up. Yeah. And then they'll want me, be accepted. Yeah. And so you had reminded me of that. And I was like, as I was thinking, I was like, oh, man, that was a scarring moment. That was a huge opportunity that I butchered.
Yeah. Dang.
It's one of my scary moments. I don't like talking about that one.
But isn't it fascinating? It doesn't matter how many times you hit a home run, how many triples or doubles, how many game-winning hits. The ones that you focus and have the most impact are the times where you
failed.
So
are you familiar with the negativity bias?
Maybe not.
So the negativity bias is something your brain does. So whenever we have failures, we have these negative experiences, our amygdala actually hones in and focuses more on those, because your body is when you experience extreme shock or failure or letdown or discomfort, like in a race situation, things that don't feel good, your brain is gonna remember those, because it's a survival instinct. When your brain is trying to survive something, it will then continue to work through how can we avoid this in the future, which makes you focus in on that. Whereas if we're succeeding and we're winning, well, that's not like a scary shock to the system. It's a more of a normalized feeling for the brain. So your brain doesn't have to analyze it. So therefore it doesn't have to retain it as deeply. But anytime something bad happens or you're perceiving it as bad and a failure, your brain perceives it as a survival kick-in.
That's why, like, sometimes in a relationship, you can tell your significant other all these great things about them, but that one time you said that one thing.
Yeah, it's a survival thing. You recall something really bad that happened in a relationship. Your brain's remembering, like, the bad experience. Your brain's remembering how it made us feel and, like, maybe what it, like, led to and, like, how we treated ourselves or how we acted afterwards. So, yeah, your brain's remembering that deeply so that you never repeat it again.
So a curiosity I would have is, why do people keep repeating the same things over and over again?
Comfort, I'd say.
But it's discomfort, and that's why you remember
Well,
it. But you're comfortable in the discomfort, is what you're saying?
I think that's a real thing. I think we become so familiar with surroundings and with certain feelings, it's hard to break out of that familiarity
Well,
and routine.
I think we've said it ad nauseum, but the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, right? So I've never actually heard that before. I'd be interested to, like, maybe do a little more studying on it and learn about it. But it sounds very plausible, very feasible, right? I saw a very similar one, though, that talked about in when bad things happen, right? So we're very hormonal creatures, right? We have chemicals that are released specifically in the brain, right? The brain is very fascinating in that it is so complex.
Very.
Super complex. And even though we've mapped the brain, even though we've done so many studies on it, we still know very little about the human brain and, like, the complexity of it. But we're very chemical based, very hormone based. And so when certain things happen, right, our body releases these different hormones, different chemicals that either make us feel good, make us feel bad, make us feel worse.
Cortisol,
whatever.
dopamine, all those things.
And, it's just, maybe, I don't know if it's a psychological study that's interesting to me about it, or just the way the humanity is, just as a sociological study. But, I use this example with my athletes sometimes, in that, isn't it weird how the cookie tastes so good, and it tastes good for the 1 minute you eat it, but then you feel bad either because you're hyped up on sugar or whatever, your insulin levels are spiked, for whatever, you can't get good sleep because you ate it right before you went to bed, but you don't remember, or you don't focus on how bad you felt after the pack of Oreo cookies that you ate. You only remember how good it tasted in the moment. But when you flip it, when it's time to go exercise or do something that's going to benefit you, you focus on how uncomfortable you're going to be for that very short amount of time. And you forget how good you felt for the rest of the day, how good a sleep you had, all those types of things. So I find it very curious in that how if this is a thing, right, if this is like our response to when bad things or difficult things happen, we continue to repeat them over and over instead of learning from them, instead of using them as a way to not experience that same thing again.
Maybe, yeah.
And I think the thing is that simply, I think we talked about this once before, but cortisol, you mentioned it, right? It's like the negative hormone.
Yeah,
right?
It's your fight or flight and all that stuff. Yeah.
So it's the stressors.
The stress hormone.
Right? It's basically the stress hormone, right? And we have dopamine and endorphins, right? And dopamine is like the happy hormone, right? It makes you, it's why people are addicted to certain things, because of the dopamine release, right? And so what's curious to me is that when we have those high levels of cortisol released in our body, obviously we struggle with sleep, we have higher anxiety, higher likelihood of depression, things of that nature. And but we don't change like the activity that causes the cortisol spikes, right? So we don't like remove that hindrance from us. Whereas things like, exercise, running, good food, good sleep, all that stuff, that can increase dopamine levels, lower cortisol levels, what have you. But one thing specifically, when I read in this book or what have you, was that when you show signs of gratefulness, right, thankfulness, or when you focus on like positive things, it releases like the happier, good hormones.
Yeah.
And you can't like simultaneously release negative and positive hormones at the same time. So in moments, like they actually, did this study with like showing moments of thankfulness or gratefulness, that in those moments you could not release cortisol at the same time as you're being grateful. So in other words, it's like physiologically impossible to be grateful and anxious at the same time, or thankful and depressed at the same time. And so like we're talking about failure, we're talking about like the results of failure and how we feel shame, we feel less than, we feel like we're not going to be accepted. And so what I have learned is that when I have those moments of failure, when I have those moments of like I missed the mark, I'm grateful that I had an opportunity to even try to shoot for it. And I find things in the moment that I can focus on that are good. I try to look at the things that, what did I do well? Okay, how can I improve on that? And when that happens, it's really weird. I actually, after Tuesday, I sent a couple people some messages, and they were trying to encourage me, which I loved it. They're my athletes, and they were trying to encourage me. And they didn't even realize what I was doing. Like, I wasn't trying to get them to encourage me. I was sending them, hey, I'm not perfect. I mess up. Here's how I'm going to respond. You're better than you think you are. You don't have to be perfect. I'm not perfect, and I'm coaching you. I want you to learn from this example that don't focus on the failure. Focus on what you've done well. Focus on the good stuff. Focus on how you can improve as you continue to go through the process of becoming a better athlete, becoming a better mom, or a better husband, or whatever it is. Not on the one thing. Hyper focus on the one thing on the one day that is not the be all end all of your complete existence.
Mic drop.
Exactly.
That was good.
Yeah. So guys, I want to encourage you so much that failure is never final. As long as you don't give up, you're going to get better. As long as you don't give up, as long as you don't quit. I'm a big believer in rule number 6, which is never give up. As you continue to progress, as you continue to go through, failure is okay, right? It's not the goal. Obviously, we don't aim to fail, but we understand that if we are pushing and challenging ourselves, failure should come. And if you surround yourself with the right types of people, if you get in the right types of group, if you get the right type of guidance and leadership and coaching, what's crazy is those failures can become some of the greatest growth opportunities overall.
Yeah.
And they can help launch you to a new stratosphere. And that failure may be the one thing that takes you to a place you may never have been before. So it's great having you today.
Yep.
Again, Rocky, having you back in the house, having you back on the crew, back in the band, right? Lauren, thank you for being here as well. Guys, if you want to be a part of all the other things we're doing, you can check us out at mybcfit.com. We have a run group we do 3 days a week. It's a community thing. Anybody can come. It's free. Some of it's fast, some of it's slow, but it's all for everybody. It's all scalable, and we can make it very manageable for each and every person. If you want to get more content like this, you want to get involved more, you can become a member on our Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/runningwithjames. We have free or paid for as well, and you get some other perks and discounts with our paid memberships as well. So as always, guys, we appreciate you coming in. We thank you so much. Get better, learn more, and just like we talked about today, if you haven't realized it yet, if you change your mind,
you can change your life.